Hey guys, Edwin here, back with my Redstone adder-subtractor tutorial, and I've changed some things since the last one. First, after the last video I realized for adding 8 and 8 at the maximum, you can't really display that on one screen, so I used MC Edit and copied this one, put it there, moved them over a little. And now we have those screens. I also cleared a space underneath the control panel where we can then build the adders and decoders and all that stuff down here out of the way, so it'll just look better in the end. I also brought down all the wires from the switches and using vertical wiring, and whatever's up there is displayed down here. So it's time to get building. Okay, and I'm back. After recording that last part, I realized I had completely forgotten how to build an adder. However, I have found a new one that works with pistons and is well, not smaller, it's vertically smaller, but more spread out. But it's easier to chain together, and it's pretty fast, so figured give it a try. And see if you had one, if you have one, you get one. And that's 0 plus 1 equals 1. Now 1 plus 0 equals 1. And 1 plus 1 goes into the carryout over here, equals 2. This is the one I'm going to be using in the adder-subtractor. And I'll get back to the other world and start building these. Okay, now all we have to do is to build it. Since the last time we were done here, I changed up the wiring, making it better so that we could chain all the adders together. Before, it wouldn't have worked at all, so this way they're all in a row, and they all work pretty well. Now, for the first part, we are going to be building the first one, and then I will probably skip the building of the rest of them because it's just the same thing over and over. Okay, to build this, just put one block here, and one here, put a redstone torch here, and put a repeater here and here, and send us here. A sticky piston goes right here along with the block. And then we have redstone wire over here going into a block here, and we have a redstone torch here, redstone repeater here, redstone repeater here. This is like the second time I built one of these, so it's kind of hard to remember. It's a lot different than the more older ones that didn't use pistons. And this goes here. That's the carry out, by the way. So if you add 1 and 1, it gets carry out to the next one, equals 2. And then we have a redstone repeater facing this way. Yep. And a block here. Redstone torch coming out. From this one we go redstone repeater here. Block here. Block here. Sticky piston here. And wire here. There you go. And to test this, oops, 1, and you get 1. 2, and carry out to 2. There we go. And now for the rest of them. I'll be back once I have those built. Probably gonna take a while. Okay, I got the second one built, and I just wanted to show that when there is 1 plus 1 added, it'll show up as 2 over there. So I already tested the second one and it should work. Okay, so power here, and you get 1, 0. Exactly right. Okay, I'm gonna build the rest of them, and okay, they're all built, and I've tested them. They're all working, and now we can get to the fun part, decoding the answers. But one thing before that, just so you know, once we get to the subtracting part, we're gonna have to add in an extra 1 to the whole thing, and that goes in here, which is the carry in for the first adder. And then if we do get a number that, say we get 8 plus 8, it's over 15, which is all 4 bits. So this last one is carry out telling us it's 16. Now on to decoding. I know there are decoders that can take the 4 to the 7 segment, but it's better if you just learn how it works first. That way you can understand how other people have put theirs together. Now the first one, for number 1, we need this one to be on and all of those to be off. So to do that, I like to take the inverted signal of 1 there, along with the double inverted or regular signal of all the others, such as this. I do it this way because if you have any of the wires just like connecting to any torch at all, it'll go back through your system, all your other ones. It'll mess everything up, and that's a real pain to fix once it's happened. So take this of this and this and blue. There we go. And the same with these ones. Torch here. Block here. Torch. This is so that if basically I'm building a large AND gate, 4 input AND gate, and the first one is inverted because we want the signal to be, we want it to produce power if and only if this one's on and those are off. If any of these are on, one of the torches will be on and it'll keep the output torch from turning on. this is the only way I know of how to do it. I have not learned how to make those large decoder to automatic binary to 7-segment display decoders. So this is a pretty good way for someone who's just beginning to do it. Okay, now if we put the output torch, where do I want to put it? Here. Now, we take this and go up and over. This is just taking it away from the decoder so that we can later run out to the surface where the 7-segment is. And there we go. And we can take that signal and bring it up there later. Test this out. We can just go here and add some power to this. That goes on, and this should be going on. Oh, the torch burned out. Oh yeah, that's a problem. There are lots of problems and complications to building a decoder. It's usually one of the hardest things. It's the hardest part of building a project like this, in my experience anyway. Because if you do even one thing wrong, it'll mess up the entire project, and you'll have to go trying to figure out what's wrong with it, and it can be just a pain. Like my original Redstone counter video, that took me many hours to do. Okay, now for number 2. Basically, we're going to do the same exact thing. Well, this time we need this one to be on. So we just take I probably should move it forward as well. Take this one and have just the inverted signal of it, while we have the double inverted signal of all the others. I'm just gonna wire them together and bring the output to one place so we can wire up later. And that's about it. However, the farther it goes along, the more difficult it gets. So the beginning's pretty simple. Just a matter of common sense, really. Okay. There's that, and here's that. Let's try it this way this time. Okay. Over here, here, up, and around, and over. If we wire this up, and have the output right here. As you can see, because none of these are on, it does not equal 2, and so this is not on. However, if we come over here and add 2 to for the entire thing. It does equal to, and so the output should have turned on. Oh, yeah. Make sure you connect up the wires, otherwise it's kind of pointless. And now the output is on. You can take this and bring it wherever you want. Oops. There we go. And just bring it up here and off to the side. That way you can move it up later. It won't be in the way. Doing it this way does take up quite a bit of room. So make sure you have some space, or you make some space like I did. Just went to MC Edit and took out everything except for like the top layer of dirt. Gives you quite a bit of room. Okay. Now for number 3. For number 3 we need both number 1 and number 2 to be on. So to do this we are going to take our color. There we go. And so we need this one to be on. And this one to be on. Okay, so we take the inverse, power this one, and power this one, while taking the double inverse of these two and wire it all together. It may seem like common sense, however, you do need to take into account every little thing that may disrupt the system later, such as if you were to just connect these wires to those two torches, it would oh yeah, what I'm trying to say, it would just provide power all along the line, because redstone appears, just extend it, and there are none back there, so it would activate all those too, and you just end up with one giant mess. Not very fun. Okay, and here's the end of 3. Mostly just common sense again. And a lot of them are like that, but if you don't know any binary and which number equals what, which set of binary equals what, then it's quite difficult for someone who's just beginning. Okay, here's the output for 3. We can then take that here, take that here, then over here. Okay, here we go, and that's 3. Now to test it, I always test each one after I put it in, because if you don't, you could just go along thinking you've got it all right and end up having nothing work at the end. It's better to be careful while you're building it than to have to mess with it after it's all built and try to move things around. It's especially with things as big as this. If you try to move it around too much, it just doesn't work out so well. Okay, so I'm going to be back in a minute. Probably going to build out a lot of these. So, realizing that binary, knowing how binary would look in our system would help people understand how I'm decoding it. I set up a little display in another world. Here's how 0 would look, because it's off, 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 or 0, 0, 0, 0, meaning 0. This one is how 1 is. It's 0, 0, 0, 1. This one is 0, 0, 1, 0, or 2. In binary, each digit can only hold a 1 or a 0. If it goes over, it has to go over the next column. Like when you're adding things like 9 and 6, that's 15, you move the 1 over to the next column, the tens column, and you get 16. In this one, you can only have 1 or 0. So you have to move, so if you have 2, you have to move the next one over, so that counts as 2 1s or 1 0. 3 is 2 plus 1, or 0 0 1 1. This is 4 0 1 0 0. They're just like 1 plus 1 equaled 2, 2 plus 2 equals 4. So that when you have more than this column can handle, it's more than 1, then it moves over to the next one and you get 4. This is 5, 4 plus 1, 6, 4 and 2, 7, which is 4 plus 2 plus 1, or 4 plus 3, equaling 7, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. Here's 8. Now, this one was on, this one was on, and this one was on for number 7. So if you add one more, none of these can handle any more inputs, so let's go over again. And then 9, 8 and 1, 10, which is 8 and 2, 11, 8, 2 and 1, 12, 8 and 4, 13, 8, 4 and 1, and 14, 8, 4 and 2, and then 15, which is the maximum that 4 bits can hold, is 1, 1, 1, 1, or 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, let's get back over to the other world and finish up building those decoders. Okay, well, in my building of these, with which I'm up to 6 now, I figured out a better way of hooking up the pistons. The wires to the decoder. It's getting late. Getting pretty tired. Just want to get out this video so that anyone who's watching would be able to figure out what happens next. Anyway, you hook up the ones that need to be powered the same way as before. However, for the ones that don't need to be powered, you can hook up like this. Put a repeater here, which utilizes the new way repeaters act with redstone wire, which I quite like, because you just need to pass redstone wire behind them and it'll activate them. Anyway, if you bring it, you can just have the repeater power this block, then bring this out and in front of all these, and here we go. because of this, you need to put block here, because of how low it is now, to keep the redstone wire on here, interacting with that. And just lay your wiring, and there you go. Now you can put your output over here. Now wiring the output is kind of difficult, however, if you just go like this, bring it over here. As you can see, this wire right here is in the way. And because of the wire over here, you can't just go on top of it. However, but if you take this out, place it with a repeater, then use a repeater to send power through the block without it interacting with the other wire down there. And there you go. So now all you need to do is put redstone wire going from this torch, and then extend this and here, and you have your output. Now, as I'm running out of room, I'm going to be moving the lines over this way, so I can use all the way from here all the way down there where we can't see because of the fog. But now I'm at 7, halfway done, and I'll be back once I've got all the decoders hooked up. Okay, I've got them all now, all the decoders all set. And now we have to hook them up to the numerical to a 7-segment display. So these right here are the decoders for the left and for the right digit. Because we're only going up to 16, we only need the ones digit or nothing. So if it's over 9, it's gonna activate this and the number that it needs. To do this, I am going to take, for instance, 1, and take it, wire it up and around to the 1, 2, up and around to the 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and so on. Basically, just a lot more busy work. It's going to be long and tedious, but that's what you have to do. It's not going to take any real redstone knowledge or understanding to get this part done, so I'm going to do it off camera, and I'll be back once that's all finished. Okay, I got the first one all hooked up, and let's test it. 1 plus 0 equals 1. There we go. And wait for that to go off. There we go, and let's try the other switch. This one should also turn on, and it does. Okay, I'll get to hooking the rest up, and see ya. Here's the testing of number 2. This switch will turn it on, because 0 plus 2 equals 2. This switch will also turn on, because 2 plus 0 also equals 2. And if we wait for that to go down, there you go. And this one will also activate the 2. Because 1 plus 1 equals 2. Just have to wait for the, there we go. And now to hook up the rest of them. Okay, and here's test number 3. for the third one. Turn 2 and 1. Should give us 3. There we go. And it works. I'm sorry to say this, but the next part will have to, the last parts of it will have to be shown in another video. It's getting late and I have to work tomorrow, so see ya.